does look very, very suspect. The fact that a lot of the people who the Delhi police seems to be questioning, seems to have arrested, a lot of them are students, a lot of them are very, very prominent members of civil society. So why do you think that this investigation is fair?
First of all, let me say that a lot of the points have already been explained by the Commissioner of Police Delhi in his letter to Mr. Ribeiro in response to what Mr. Ribeiro had to say in his letter. Uh, and he explained some of the facts based on which the Delhi police is going in the direction in which it is going. Uh, I have very limited knowledge of the details of the investigation, but nonetheless, I am a little better placed than Mr. Ribeiro and also my other colleagues who are on record having quoted from Mr. Ribeiro's letter and having expressed their anguish at the way things are going. And they consider that this entire investigation is a kind of partisan and it is going in one particular direction against a certain community, in favor of a certain community. And the general perception is that it's all happening because of government orders and so on and so forth. Now, let me tell you that on the basis of the limited inputs that I have, I know that the Delhi police has come up with some unimpeachable evidence which is technical in nature, which is not somebody's hearsay, somebody has mentioned somebody's name somewhere. No, it is based on technical surveillance, technical inputs, etc., which proves that behind the riots was a large-scale conspiracy, and a number of the conspirators were linked to one another. There were exchanges of messages. Things were happening in a very concerted manner, in a very planned manner. People were meeting at these nukkads in northeast Delhi, and they were planning what to do next. They were all going in a certain direction to a pre-planned, shall we say, scheme. So, having gone through that kind of evidence, I am with the Delhi police on this matter that yes, there is a strong case not only against Umar Khalid, but others who are already in custody, such as the lady members of Pijra Code and others. And the Delhi police has a strong case.
But sir, how do you say that? Because we don't know what evidence there is, and as this police commissioner said that he can't, because of its sensitive nature, he can't put it out there. However, what we do have is the Delhi High Court order which granted bail to that Pinjra Tod activist Divyangana Kalita, which said that there was no evidence that the police had shared with them which showed that her speeches may have instigated or anything that shows that it would have instigated violence or the riots. So that is the only judicial judgment that we have till now, which seems to suspect what the Delhi police has or its evidence. So how come you are so sure?
I think you're not aware of what the court's orders were in the case of Natasha Narang. Natasha Narang's case, which came up before the Delhi High
She's
Court.
also another student, yes.
Yes, another student. Bail was denied to her. And in the open court, the Delhi High Court said that there is a case. There is a case of conspiracy.
I understand that it's wrong that I'm questioning you, but I just want to understand, and I want to understand what makes you certain of the veracity of the police's claims. Because what about what all these officers are saying, sir? They are from the force, sir. They are saying as well. One thing that they keep pointing out, we'll speak about the students in just a bit, and how because in a day or two they're saying they'll file the charge sheet. But what we do know is that if they're going by speeches, then the people who were seen instigating, every time it's being talked about that these activists what they said, whether it's Sitaram Yechuri or anything, that their criticism instigated violence. Well, we do know, we have evidence, we've all heard certain BJP leaders who did make incendiary speeches, whose words seem to be inciting violence, but no action has been taken against them.
Some people did go to the court, have gone to the High Court, asking for orders to direct the Delhi police to proceed against the speeches that were made by Mr. Kapil Mishra and a minister and Parvesh Verma. And that matter is still sub judice. The court has still not given its verdict whether a case is clearly made out or not. Because the present case, please remember, is connected with Northeast Delhi riots. Now, to connect the speeches that were made with the riots, especially of Mr. Kapil Mishra, which was made, say, just before the riots actually broke out, a day before the riots broke out. The general legal opinion is that it is not connected. It is not, it says, I mean, Mr. Kapil Mishra, I don't want to defend him, but I'm just trying to give you a perspective. He is saying, he is requesting the police that please remove these people from this road and allow the traffic to flow. Otherwise, we will hold ourselves back till Mr. Trump is in town. Once Mr. Trump leaves, then we will do it ourselves. This is all that there is to.
He says we will do it, we won't even listen to you. He says that we won't even listen to the police.
Yeah, but remember that it was not something which was inciting riots. He was just saying, he was talking about that particular road block or chakka jam as it is called. If you have been through the details of the investigation, you would know that there are a lot of preparations made. Since there were stones kept, bricks kept, acid kept on the rooftops. They show that while there was preparations in pursuance of a certain conspiracy in community A was not there in community B. Let me put it this way.
No, so okay, but how do you're saying, if you're saying Kapil Mishra, which as you yourself said was 2 days before the riot went off, if that can't be connected, and he's saying very clearly that if the police fails to do it, then we will clear it ourselves. That, if you're saying that's not enough to show a link, but how is there a link between what Umar Khalid is saying or what Divyangana Kalita is saying or what the other students are saying and what the riots happened? Are you
No.
saying that the police has much more on Sitaram Yechuri and Yogendra Yadav than it does on Kapil Mishra?
First, let me make it clear, Sunetra, that Mr. Yechuri or Mr. Yogendra Yadav or the others, including Jayati Ghosh and all, they are not arraigned as accused.
But their name is there in an attachment and it's part of apparently a confession statement which is not even signed. So see, that is the thing. We are going by what we know. What is interesting is the police deems it fit to call these people who have very good reputations in order to question them, but it is based on something which is not even signed, which the police claims is a confession statement, but is not even signed by that particular person.
This is an information which is not correct. There are statements under 164 CRPC before a magistrate. And there also, they're not saying that so-and-so came and incited us. That is not the case of the police. First of all, they are not accused. And secondly, it is not their case that the speeches made by Mr. Yogendra Yadav or Mr. Yechuri or XYZ incited people to indulge in riots. And that also goes for Umar Khalid. Please do not think that Umar Khalid has been made an accused only because of that portion of his speech that is made in Amravati. That when Mr. Trump is here, we'll do this and this and this. No. The evidence against Umar Khalid is far more. And it is not only that speech. That speech forms very, very small portion of the body of evidence that the Delhi police has.